Hello, my name is Jake Hofer. I'm a real estate broker out of the state of Illinois, co-owner of Exodus, and today we are sharing a really great conversation from the Land Podcast with Will Lee. Will is an attorney out of Illinois. He's a specialist in real estate, and we talk all about easements in this conversation. It's something that I think a lot of people misunderstand or don't fully grasp, so we talk about some of the misconceptions, some important things coming from a perspective of an attorney. Hope you guys really enjoy the video. New videos every single Thursday and Saturday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys enjoy the conversation. Here we go. As someone that's looking to buy a piece of ground, and you have these scenarios a lot in rural America where there's maybe everyone thinks it's a recorded easement and it's really not a recorded easement. Do you ever suggest buyers or asking their attorney, like, can we just find out before we wrap a contract if this really does have an easement, or how is the easement recorded and what can I do on it?
Yeah, that's all. And I would recommend pre-contract.
Okay.
Post-contract, you start to get people doing the math. They're like, I can tell this buyer doesn't want this easement used for logging. And if he finds out it's used for logging, he's not going to give me my 1.5 mil. There's no objective evidence of logging, so I'm going to deny that any logging exists.
Mm-hmm.
You start to, because the seller's starting to do the math. They already got the contract. They're supposed to close in 45 days. Humans are humans. They're going to act in their best interest. There's a lot of a majority of people are not sharky and hiding things and acting below board. But with ag, people start to act a little different. So yeah, you have to.
So you would suggest to kind of do that due diligence before even drafting up a contract.
That's right. And we can draft something with a degree of certainty that makes the seller comfortable, that we will limit our investigations, but that's important for a buyer to know what they're buying, or to tell me, hey, I'm actually an ice cream magnate from Nevada. I've never been to Northwest Illinois. I think it's important that someone goes to the property, or again, just tells me they've never been there, so I can say someone needs to go there. Whether it's me, whether it's your agent, someone needs to go and see what's going on at that property.
Yeah.
So that we can ferret all this stuff out.
Yeah, that's great advice. So when, let's say, do you have any other words of wisdom on easement? Because I think people confuse. I think there's confusion on easement. And the reason I say that is because I deal with it a lot, where people ask questions. They're like, well, there's an easement and that means you can't build a house on it. Well, it probably depends on what the easement is. So like, what are some things that this insight you could provide around it?
Consistent uses. Okay. If what you want to do is consistent with the use of the easement or the historic use of the easement, the law will protect you. You can't obstruct the use of the easement. So whether it's a pipeline below ground, they have to one day dig from above the ground down to that pipeline. So you can't set your house on top of the pipeline, because those are inconsistent uses, and you'll obstruct the use of the pipeline. If it's not in writing, this is a talk about scope. What can this easement be used for? And that's determined by what's in writing or historical use.
Okay, we have. I should have had some examples so we could go over hypothetical properties.
Sure.
Let's say, okay, so there's a parcel and legal access is from the south, and on the north axis, a county road kind of bananas around and touches the corner of it. Now there isn't legal access up there, but the owners for the last 150 years have parked there and used it as access. Is that, can you do that in that scenario?
Interesting. So an easement from a public right of way, can a private user?
Well, let's say it's county, and then township owns the ditch, or like township owns the cutout.
And then you drive through the ditch, off the road. Well, I mean, through the land bridge over the ditch.
Yeah.
Into this
northeast
backdoor
corner
access to your house.
Yeah.
Sure. I believe that historic use, a prescriptive easement, an easement by implication.
Yeah.
That the county and the townships, if they've allowed that use, I would think it's an established easement. That's why it pays to say something.
Yeah.
because all the county would have had to do is send a letter every 19 years saying,
Don't do
we
that.
really don't want you to do this.
Yeah.
And that may inject enough risk into your court case that you decide you don't want to blow the money on a court order establishing the easement.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting because I think those things happen a lot more than probably what people realize, or maybe there's never escalated to the point where it becomes, I guess more obvious, or you see it more often anyhow.
Yep. And roads are expensive. So it's a luxury item. So if you can avoid doing it and get the same service,
yeah,
you're not gonna build one.
Yeah.
And so that's where you start to see these sort of pattern and practice uses. And then here comes the neighborly dispute, or here comes the new buyer with a very low risk tolerance, and all this stuff blows up. And you say, wait, that's not really a driveway. The county could come in and put up a guardrail, or they could do a taking, like eminent domain. They could, the township could pay you to cut you off of that easement if they thought they were going to lose the court case. So yeah, I think the easement world has a lot to do with pattern and practice. Pattern and practice does not involve lawyers. It involves non-lawyer neighbors. And so no surprise that it blows up.
That's funny. What do you think is a proper threshold for risk? Because I'm like, it's obviously for whatever, but I think there has to be a good balance of not being a complete nervous Nelly, but also not being like roll the dice, who cares type buyer. What would you say is a good threshold?
Good luck getting a lawsuit done in less than 10 grand. Okay, so all this, let's sue them over the GFCI outlets. Crazy. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
If you find a lawyer to take that case,
he's probably not a very good attorney.
Watch out. Yeah. Because that lawsuit's good for them, not good for the client. So when I double that. So I say anything that's less than a $20,000 fix, you're not going to sue over.
Sure.
You're not going to do it. You're not going to wait the 2 years for the court order, or a year and a half, spend the 10 grand over the GFCI outlets. It better be big. And so that is why it's so important, and why the real estate industry focuses pre-closing so heavily. Because the closing very much has this feeling of, okay, we're closed, goodbye, I never want to see you again. From the title company, from the real estate agents, from the lawyers. And that's not because we actually don't want to see you again. It's that this deal was done right if we never hear about it again.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So yeah, I think there's some good information there on easements and risk tolerance. Now, in terms of risk tolerance, what's your opinion on title insurance? Because, and I have a personal interesting kind of experience. I bought a parcel of ground a long time ago. It was in a federally protected database that was they put it in there themselves. Okay. And then it was long gone. So in the title search, I found that on a database, and it was, well, yeah, it's there, but it's, no clear answer. And then, so we did a title search on it. And then obviously title search did not show anything. But I was like, okay, well, I have title insurance. If something did come up on this, would it be covered? The answer was no. And so I feel that like I don't know, man. I just don't know about title insurance and how much it really protects, I guess, the buyer. Does it just protect the lender? What insight can you give us?
I'm a big fan. I don't like, I think when I was issuing policies heavily, it was maybe 10% of my gross income. Now, I don't even know if it'd be measurable, because I really, maybe one deal a year I'll do a policy on where the setup's right. But you have to have a backstop somewhere. You have to have a safety net somewhere. And the game with title insurance is addressing the exemptions. They'll say, like any insurance policy, we'll cover this, but not this. So you really need to concentrate on things that are not covered. And they'll say easements or matters of record that should have been disclosed by investigation of the record, or some exemption like that. So then you just focus in on those, and you go to your county and you get every layer of mapping imaginable. You talk out issues that you discover with the title company, like, hey, you didn't mention this on your commitment. Why not? And insurance companies are still insurance companies, right? And they'll say, oh, well, this is never covered.
Yeah.
And I say, didn't you have an obligation to tell me? And they'll say, no. Some are very interested. The ones I work with are very interested in doing the right thing. But they're mom and pop shops that get by on their reputation locally. And that's not always true in every environment. So title insurance is important to have a backstop on certain issues.